Picture this. A man, engrossed in conversation with his wife, sits on a park bench discussing his family plans. The sun is shining, birds are singing, and all seems well with the world. But in a startling twist, the tranquility is shattered as the man's voice cracks into a cough, followed by a fit of sneezes. The coughing continues, growing more severe, and soon he's wheezing, gasping for breath. The wife's face turns ashen as she realizes her husband is struggling to breathe. With a sense of urgency, she helps him up and they rush, stumbling and scared, towards the nearest hospital. The peaceful afternoon in the park has taken an unexpected turn, becoming a race against time. The wife prays silently, hoping against hope that her husband will be all right, as they hurry towards the beacon of hope, the hospital. A sudden change of events, don't you think? But what could have caused this? As they rush into the hospital, they're met with a calm and composed doctor. He quickly steps in, assessing the situation with a professional ease that brings a sense of relief. His questions are pointed and clear, aimed at understanding the man's symptoms and the sequence of events that led him here. The man recounts his afternoon in the park, describing the sudden and unexpected discomfort that seized him. He speaks of the coughing, the sneezing, and the difficulty in breathing that followed. His words paint a picture of an ordinary day turned into a frightening ordeal. The doctor, upon hearing the symptoms and the circumstances, suspects asthma. He suggests conducting a peak flow test, explaining that it's a simple procedure to measure the man's lung capacity and the severity of his condition. The man agrees, and the test is done swiftly, revealing a reading of 300. This low score further strengthens the doctor's suspicion. Without wasting a moment, the doctor administers albuterol and Atrovent, two medications known for their efficacy in treating asthma symptoms. The aim is to open up the man's airways and restore his normal breathing. As the treatments take effect, the man's wheezing starts to subside. His breaths come easier and the tension in the room eases. With the immediate crisis under control, the doctor delves into the possible cause of the sudden attack. He asks the man if he had noticed any pollen in the park. The man confirms, remembering that the park had indeed been filled with pollen that day. The doctor nods, his suspicion now almost a certainty. He believes that the man may have undiagnosed asthma triggered by the pollen in the park. But to be sure, more tests and evaluations are needed. For now, he assures the man that he's safe and that they'll get to the bottom of this. With the wheezing subsiding, the doctor digs deeper, asking if he noticed any pollen in the park. The man confirms. With the man's confirmation, the doctor starts to connect the dots. Asthma, the doctor explains, is a complex condition, often rooted in a genetic predisposition. Having a parent with asthma, as you do, can increase your likelihood of developing this condition, the doctor states. He then moves on to potential triggers of asthma. Pollen, he elucidates, can be a powerful trigger, as you experienced in the park. He further explains how asthma can be set off by a variety of factors. Sinus infections, allergies, acid reflux, he lists. Each of these can trigger an asthma attack. But it doesn't stop there. Physical exercise, certain medicines, bad weather, cold, dry air, specific foods, and even fragrances can all act as triggers. Understanding this, the man begins to grasp the complexity of his situation. The doctor continues, managing asthma involves understanding and avoiding your triggers. Next, the doctor retests the man's peak flow. The reading has now improved to 700, a significant increase from his initial score of 300. This improvement is a clear sign that the treatments have worked, and that the man's breathing is now much better under control. As the doctor prepares to discharge the man, he leaves him with some parting advice. Stay vigilant about your triggers, take your medication as prescribed, and always keep an eye out for potential new triggers. This is the key to managing asthma. Before the man leaves, the doctor hands him a prescription and some final words of wisdom. He impresses upon him the significance of taking his medication as directed and the necessity of avoiding triggers. The doctor encourages awareness, urging the man to be vigilant for any potential triggers he might stumble upon in his day-to-day life. He advises, knowledge is your best defense. With a newfound understanding of his condition, the man leaves the hospital prepared for a healthier future.